Welcome. I'm the Tinkerer. This is where I do my tinkering. Today, I want to give you a quick little review of the Ultimak 30 carbine scope mount. First, a short word about the M1Carbine. I personally think it's one of the best guns ever designed. It's one of the most versatile and capable guns I've ever seen. It's compact. It does everything from room to room distance out to 300 yards well. It's durable. This gun's 70 years old and still holds up well with today's most modern firearms. It's always had one little problem, which is putting any kind of optics on it was a royal pain in the hiney. There were some options floating around. There are a couple that replaced the rear sight. Yeah, it sits kind of high. The ejected cases tend to hit it. It's a little too high for a proper cheek weld. It works, but it's not too exciting. And I discovered, thanks to the internet, thank you internet, the Ultimak 30 carbine scope mount. Checked it out. To be perfectly honest, I was a little annoyed at the price. With picatinny rail hardware being pretty cheap, I was a little annoyed at that plus shipping be $100. But there really weren't any other good options, so I decided to give it a try. And I was going to be annoyed if I got, a hunk of picatinny rail with a couple of clamps drilled and tapped, and that was it. I would like to say I was wrong. This is actually a really nicely machined piece of hardware. It's contoured to fit the profile of the stock nicely. If you look inside, you can see the machining marks. This is completely machined. There's quite a bit of time on this. I'm a CNC programmer and machinist myself. And I can tell you, there's some time and effort and work into this to get it to fit correctly. It's a really nicely made piece of hardware. Replaces the original upper handguard. Easy to attach. I like it. Let's put it on. The manual that comes with it, really nice, full color, good clear photographs. If you've never taken an M1Carbine apart before, I'll walk you right through it. Mine's already disassembled, I'm not going to get into that. But I do want to point out that this kind of photography and this kind of manual, this costs a couple bucks to produce and print. So they really put some effort not just into the part itself, but into the instructions. That to me says a lot. They really want to make it easy for people to put it on. Points for Ultimak. A word about one of the few things you can get wrong when you try to put this together is the clamps. You get the clamps. Notice there's a little air gap under the one on the right and none on the one on the left. The one on the left is wrong and must be punished. Whenever you're clamping anything like this, you want to see approximately equal gap on both sides. On either side, the clamp is actually touching the thing being clamped at that point. It should only be touching up here. That way all the pressure is on the barrel and none is down here on this plate. You want to be putting the pressure on the barrel, not on the plate. Make sure you have equal gap on both sides. Now I'm putting mine in a Choate folding stock. And while it is guaranteed to fit the standard OEM military wooden stock, they warn you that you may have some clearance problems on some others, and I do. So I will have to get in there and cut that out enough the clamp to drop in there. Not a big deal, well worth a little bit of extra trouble. Here's how I had to modify the Choate stock. Originally there was plastic here. I had to cut just about down to the level of this rib and just about up to the pin where the latch is. And even with the existing old side here. Probably don't need to take quite that much out, but it was easy for me to do, so I just went ahead and cleaned that all out. And now it will drop in quite nicely. I have to get that snugged up and fitted correctly. That's a little too loose. When it's in place, the only thing that that rail should be touching is the barrel where the clamps are. Nowhere else. Not the stock, not the operating rod. Touches nothing but the barrel at those points. One note of caution on disassembly. This pin holds the entire trigger group onto the receiver. It is held in only by the stock. So once you pull this out of the stock, the pin will fall out just like that and roll away. Don't ask me how I know this. Be careful. And there you go, fully installed. That looks really cool. It's about as low profile as you could possibly get. All in all, a great addition to a great and venerable old weapon. I recommend it. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you feel like it. But whatever you do, keep tinkering. Now all I need is a pistol scope.